their age, young and old. But yeah,
Excellent.
so I do lots of different things basically. Good morning, Callie.
Morning, guys. Sorry about that. How are you both doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good, 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 good. Not too bad. Not too bad. Quite optimistic. Beautiful day. How are you? How are you, Ruben?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Yeah.
Great. All right. Well, obviously, thank you both ever so much for agreeing to do this, and thank you ever so much for coming into the Zoom room before me. I should be on time. I had a bit of a technical issue. My laptop wasn't turning on for 10 minutes. But here we are. Have you guys just been kind of like speaking, introducing yourselves?
Yeah, we're just introducing ourselves. I think what would be useful is to know what our agenda is now, and also presumably you're going to send us the sort of sequence, program or agenda of the session.
Yes. Did you not receive what I sent? Let's have a look.
I don't think so. I don't think I've had an order of. Have you had that, Ruben? An order of what's going to happen?
I had something on, I think it was on Saturday.
Yeah.
I get a zillion emails, Callie, so but I do check my emails regularly. So I'm just trying, I'm going to have another look now. But I didn't see anything that says, right, this is the order.
Yeah, because I sent something over. Let's have a look. Send.
I've got the link, which was great. Thank you. Well, the link for this meeting anyway.
There. So on the 6th at 2:13. So we've got the details for the invoices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you just send it again? Because I have so many, so it's at the top.
No worries.
I have so many. I've got your memo. I've got the link for this meeting. I've found those emails.
Yeah, I think it's a Material Voices memo, because I think the first one that I sent, the Google Drive was an attachment, and then this one, yeah, I added it in. So
thank you for taking part. Rough draft. Oh, I found it.
Yeah. It's quite wordy, so it might not look like a table.
After reviewing last week, I proposed the following itinerary. That's one, isn't it? Yeah. Because it's got times against everything.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm going to send this to myself again, so it goes to the top of my emails. I just get so many.
I should have just sent it over to you.
I do clear them, but sometimes. And anyway, I've sent that to myself. I've sent that to myself again, so it's at the top. Just, I know this sounds like I'm asking this for about 90 million times. Am I right in thinking the link to actually get on at 6:30 is going to be sent out, or is it on the Facebook page?
Right. So it's on the Facebook page. I think that Facebook.
Write this down.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. So
I couldn't find it. You see, this is the thing. No, I couldn't find it. So if you have it, can you copy and paste it and send?
Yes. So what I'll do, I spent a lot of last night kind of sending the Zoom link out to people, realizing that sometimes it wasn't, and so I'm good.
Yeah, I couldn't actually see the link. I did look several times. So if I just note Callie to send link.
Yeah.
Today. Okay, great. So we've got the order of today. So I've had a look at it. Let's have another look at it. And I don't think I've got any. Right, can you just go through the LGBTQIAN acronym?
Yes. So we've got I had the LGBTQIN. I was talking to my housemates, and that's what we came up with. But I think really it's down to Ruben what we're using.
Well, it's down to all of it. Can you just clarify what that means, just so we're all on the same page? So can you just go through what that stands for?
Yeah, so I thought the LGBTQIN, but this was an idea to submit to Ruben. But lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans, queer, intersex, asexual, non-binary, and plus is what that was.
Right, that's really inclusive. That's all I needed to know, because I got as far as the A, which I did discuss with you about adding.
Yes.
Okay, exactly. Because I did, just so you know, Ruben, I was on about asexual people. And recent developments within Pride and wanting them that they're wanting to have a voice and representation. And I have a colleague who is actually an academic who's all his research is about asexual people. So that's great. So we've got the N for non-binary.
Yes, but so I searched this when I searched this last night. I found no other hits for that particular.
No.
So Ruben, can you?
Yeah.
Ruben, can
yes,
you?
Ruben, I'd love to hear from Ruben what he has to say.
To be honest, there's no right answer, and quite often in our sort of network meetings, we can spend quite a while talking about language and what acronym we should use. And I think the most important thing is that plus is on the end, showing that no matter which letters are in there, we're including everyone, and that actually what we're saying, our message is right. I think that's more important than the acronym itself. But yeah, so, I've never seen the N included, but
no,
I like it.
It's just that I hadn't seen the N before. That's why I thought let us be clear on it, so that if anybody asks. But I think that's great, Callie. That's fine.
Cool. I mean, I did think that the non-binary would be important for this conversation, because I will be wanting to kind of look at how prisons account for the non-binary bodies, and so I thought that was a reason that's quite significant there.
Well, they don't. That's the short answer to that, is that they don't. So yeah, but yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Cool. So I suppose I'm kind of like proposing that we kind of start at 6:30.
Can I just say, it's kind of standard etiquette if it starts at 6:30. Organisers and I generally want to get there 10 minutes before.
Yes. So
just to flag that up.
So I seem to meet with my mum before the previous session, and we hold each other's hand for moral support, and discuss kind of what we'll be doing. So yes, I will definitely be in there from 15 minutes.
And will you be admitting any latecomers?
Yes.
Yes. So that's your job. Okay.
Yeah. I'm also hoping to recruit my mum as the chat moderator. This is after, so I went to a bit of a poetry slam over the weekend. They had 80 people attending, and they had a really brilliant, just kind of, it was impressive. They had a really great way of kind of presenting it. So taking a few ideas from there. So yes, there will be, I'm not going to have like a waiting room. I'm just going to kind of let people come in whenever. At 6:30, I'll do the kind of like, hello guys, welcome to I'll run at that point. So one of the first things I'll say is that it's an 18+ event, inclusive body type, is being recorded. Please let us know if we can make any adjustments to ensure accessibility.
And will you also ask as a protocol for the meeting, when people are speaking, other people are muted?
Yeah, so I can add that in. Do you think that's, yeah.
Just don't want background noise. And the recent parish council thing was just...
I think I need to look at that today. So that's 18:30 to about 18:33, and then what I'm doing today is I'm getting some segments of the Ballad of Reading Jail recorded, and so what I would like to do for that is share my screen, and then we'll just have like the kind of 4 recordings. That way we can just kind of relax, and I'm hoping that'll kind of give space for other people to come in maybe a bit late. And then the next, so we'll have the Ballad of Reading Jail. We might have a poem called Claire, which was written by our first LGBTQ identifying or obviously identifying inmate. So I thought that'd be a great one to hear. Then we'll have, so kind of about 1840. Thank you for coming. I'll kind of introduce Novas. And then I'm going to explain what I mean by voice and materiality. So kind of explain that we're talking about the metaphorical voice. We realize that some people's voices have been silenced in the past or not heard. I want to make space for that. And then talking about the kind of the factors, the social, the personal factors that come together to produce a voice and a different subjectivity. So that's kind of looking at the materiality of voice. That's another way that I mean it. But then also acknowledging that this is a project which is kind of crossing over different mediums. We're having physical letters written to us. We're converting those to physical performances, which are being, changed again to a recording. And this is kind of vaguely touching on what COVID is produced. So do you guys have any questions about this? Really kind of, I absolutely know that it's a flashy title to get people interested, deeply confusing, and so it means that we can do whatever we want with it. But do you guys have any questions about, the title or what I mean by it?
I don't particularly.
No, I think the title makes sense to me. Yeah, I did get a little bit confused about the questions, but we'll come to that. So
yeah. So this is all quite informed by, I did go to Goldsmiths. I'm very much kind of that, putting out huge, great big words, and I don't mean to. I have thought about my register. I've thought about whether it's accessible to everyone. I've checked my kind of register and how I'm presenting this with a friend of mine who has been to prison, who's got, the lower education that is to be expected of. Well, not to be expected, sorry, that came out horrendously. The lower kind of education level, which is regular when dealing with inmates. So we're kind of happy with the register. Though I do absolutely hear any calls to kind of simplify the language. So so I'll be like, hello. So I was thinking, in last week's session, we had 10 participants and they all introduced themselves and they all spoke for about 4 minutes each. So they were kind of saying like, hi, so I work in this area and I'm really interested in this. I think that if there's fewer than 10 people, I'll be really happy to ask people to introduce themselves. If there are more than 10, then maybe we won't have time.
Yeah.
Now, my kind of...
I'd agree with that. I think if you're going to do the intro, you will have to give a lead, and it's literally like three line statement. My name is so and so. I do blah blah. I am interested in blah blah, and that is it. Otherwise, it becomes long and protracted, and you really want to have more time for the discussion and other things. If it's more than 10, I would just assume that everybody's here because they're interested and want to know more. And there might be opportunities. Always a good thing on Zoom is if people want to put their name and what they do and what they're interested in, you can put it in the chat.
Yes, yeah. So what I was going to do, I was going to ask people to kind of share so, I'd like to have this introduction of everyone. If we don't manage it, and at the end of the session, I was going to ask people to share their practice in the chat. So that'll be a kind of blanket standard thing. This is in order to kind of ask people to kind of commit to being part of a network who's going to be happy to be contacted and updated with details about what the kind of thing that we're doing. So be that creative or community-based or prison-based. And I'm going to work out exactly how to put that clearly and concisely to get people to say, oh yeah, lovely, bing. Yeah.
I think it's good, we all know this from Zoom meetings, that when things are short on time, there's still lots of great things that can be done, like what you've just said. If you're running short on time, then you can use the private chat, and as the organizer, you have access to the recording of the audio and the video, but you also have access to the chat, and links can be put in there, people's email address. Yes, I'm interested, my name is, this is my email. So again, using the if you're looking like time is getting really tight, to use the chat.
Yeah, I think that'd be great. Yeah. I'm thinking, so I did mention before that I might think of extending the session, but I think actually an hour should be fine.
I would probably, if it's an hour and 10, that's fine. But I think if you were going to go to an hour and a half, it might be problematic. But I think you also need to get maybe a feel of the meeting. And if it's really massively, like lots of things to talk about, there may be a follow-on.
That makes sense.
Sort of eating more into people's evening.
I was wondering. I think that a follow-on would be a great idea. I was kind of thinking of so from the Zoom kind of poetry thing that I went to the other evening, I noticed how they ended it. I noticed that the host stayed on till the end and was kind of answering questions as a host might in a physical, real meeting-y thing. And I remember from my last meeting that I was quite inclined at the end of it to just run away that I was done with being on camera. I just wanted to ride that wave and go and have a glass of wine. But I was thinking this time, you guys are more than welcome to head off, and I will quite happily stick around for half an hour or so. And if there are any kind of
if you let people know that then in the outset, that it will formally kind of close at the time that's been advertised. However, you're hanging out.
Yeah.
Just sort of chat more informally, and I think that's really nice as well, because I think in this COVID situation, we can all feel very isolated and cut off, and so we need to do like the business, the program of the session, and get all that done. But I think if people did want to hang out later and you're willing to be there and you let people know that, I think that would be nice for people to maybe chat more informally, kind of maybe network or chat more informally.
But I would say that you guys, at 19:30, you are absolutely unobliged, and thank you, and fare you well at that point. So let's have a look. So yes, so I think that when I'm thinking about the audience, last week's session, we had, I think it was maybe 13 people interested on Facebook and 9 people going, and we ended up with 10 participants. This week we've got, and this kind of kept me up a little bit last night, we've got 13 people interested and 43 people interested. So that's 13 people who have said that they're going and 43 people interested. I don't really know what that means. That might mean that we have, 9 people again, and it might mean we have a few more again. So, yeah.
In my experience of doing lots of events that I've advertised through Facebook, you could end up with 6 people or 9 people or 10 people, or those people interested actually at the last minute decide to book in and attend. You don't know until you actually see.
No.
Lots of people say they're interested in things and don't turn up, but equally there's the possibility that they just change their mind and they do. So
absolutely. I mean, I'll be kind of messaging it to all of my friends. I think that all of my friends are sick to death of me. I haven't had any replies this morning, but I just had a lot of messages last night. Anyway, so we're going to be, the kind of people that we're expecting as the audience. I mentioned it last time, healthcare professionals, some academics. So I've had it advertised through my university. I might try and get Leicester DMU to advertise it today. And then a couple of users. So my friend Ruben's going to be there. He's been in the prison system. I've invited a few more people who are kind of generally working in our little network of ex-offenders. And so a kind of fair mix of people. I think often it seemed from the last session, like lots of people working in the area who are, just invested in starting this conversation. And then so whether after we either introduce or don't introduce the audience, I will introduce you guys, or you will introduce yourselves, and I'll be like, right, now on to our 2 speakers. And then you guys will introduce yourself. I think a slightly more in-depth introduction, obviously, than the audience. So if I'm talking about your pets, your hobbies, and whatever you want to talk about, that'd be nice. And then
I won't, because I don't have pets.
Oh well. So my preference is here's something that I was wondering. Since we're going to be talking about intersectionality, I wonder to what extent you guys will be introducing your own intersections and bringing those to the table. And I'm wondering, maybe I should, or maybe I could start a bit of sort of trend if I introduce myself according to some intersections. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, I would do that normally. I mean, when I speak publicly, I talk about being a Black woman at the intersection of class, racism, homophobic, whatever. That's just, in this context, would be part of the introduction. Very, 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 very briefly, just so that people know where I am coming from. Just so you know, I'm going to be talking primarily about this statement which is made, which is speaking truth to power. So those that know it feel it, and validating authentic experiences and voices of oppressed people and of LGBT voices. So that will be kind of in my introductory spiel. if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Ruben, do you know what your kind of...
Ruben.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's obviously I'm coming from the centre, so it's kind of not me there as a person almost. It's kind of there to talk about the work that we do. So I wouldn't usually sort of talk much about my own identity. I mean, obviously I introduce myself with my pronouns and everything as standard, but it's about sort of what we do in the centre, in the community, what our role is, and how we work with people at the intersections of different identities, and sort of how we can create safe spaces to do that work. So as long as that fits with you, then yeah.
That's important, because you know, there is a difference between me and Ruben in that way.
I think that I'm hoping that, you know, where Carol, you've got a very kind of very intellectual, very well informed, very historical context, or set of contexts.
Yeah, I mean, I'm there I'm actually there, aren't I? As not only as a sort of Black queer woman, but I'm there as an arts professional. Yeah. So it's kind of that, you know. So it's me as an arts professional and as an artist, and part of that is I do say, you know, as a Black queer woman, so that's fine.
Brilliant.
That's
and
fine.
then like so Ruben, you'll kind of like have like a hold on the practical areas. You know, you'll know which areas are kind of lacking for LGBTQ plus support, which ones are kind of well funded, I'm hoping. And then so I'm going to be kind of asking these very odd, convoluted questions, which I'm hoping just kind of like pack a lot in there to be unpacked. So which voices are present in the prison system? Which ones haven't we heard? Is there something amplifying or suppressing? Without kind of answering that now, do you guys feel kind of comfortable to approach that question?
Yeah, I think my main sort of thing when reading it was I was a little bit worried that you were kind of expecting an area of expertise from me that I don't have, because I don't know about the prison system. Like I said on the phone, we've not been able to do a lot of work with the prison system as of yet. So I don't have that sort of specialist knowledge of what's currently going on within the prisons and sort of what that kind of experience is like. I only kind of know the community outside, and sort of, like I said, supporting people once they're sort of re-entering the community and that kind of thing. So I can certainly sort of talk about what our centre users talk about in terms of their voices and how they feel silenced in society, sort of wider society. But specifically within the prison system, I am a little bit blank. So as long as you're not expecting loads of knowledge in that area, then that's fine.
No, I mean, this is exactly what you said. So
yeah. And equally, I mean, I take it you got the links that I sent you for the information, because I felt, as much as I'd been involved in different things in the past. Morning, Julie.
Hello there.
Oh, hi.
Morning. As much as I've been involved in things in the past in the community, both anecdotally and in formal ways, and have colleagues, you know, worked in prison, and I've worked in prisons, you know, in terms of the arts, I did feel beholden to sort of just have an overview of what's been going on, what's been written about prisons, and I shared that knowledge with you. And it's clear to me, just to essentialize it, is for Ruben's benefit, is that what goes on outside prison goes on in prisons, but in a much more what's the word, often in a much more pernicious, difficult way, you know, in terms of homophobia from the prisoners, but also from the guards and the system, putting it briefly. And with trans people, there's this safety at risk assessment issues. All that is part of it, and because our prisons are privatized and what have you, you know, the practice is not good. So, you know, I could say that, you know, and then but also, Callie, you may want to share some of those links in the chat for people's reference later on.
That would be a really good idea, actually. I'm thinking, you know, we will be thinking about, I've looked at some statistics myself as well. so I can come armed with that. I think Julie Maxwell. So Julie, if I could introduce Ruben to you. Julie is
Hi Ruben.
Ruben is the trainer or the head trainer at the LGBTQ plus centre in Leicester. Now Carol and Ruben are just kind of being told, being spoken at by me. Well, no, actually we're having quite good discussion. I'm hoping, Julie, that you might be able to moderate the chat for this
Happy to do that. Yes. Yeah. So just keep an eye on it and then flag up any interesting issues or points that haven't been covered.
Yeah. Also, so we've just decided, or Carol made the suggestion that we put a couple of links in the chat. So I'm going to get those over to you today.
Okay.
And any other links, both of you, both Ruben and Carol, if you find anything that might be useful, ping it over to us and I'll ping it over to Julie and we'll make sure that it's kind of released, slow release.
That's fine. And we just said, Julie, just to bring you up to speed, that, if things are tight for time, to really use the chat for questions or clarifications, even intros, if there's a lot of people and we're not going to sort of,
What a good idea. Put your intro in the chat, yes.
Otherwise it'll just eat into all the good discussions.
And that's a great way to be able to...
as you as moderator, just keep an eye on it.
Yep.
Yeah,
happy to do that.
So the last, just the last little bit on. So where you say, Ruben, that the prison system hasn't had much contact with the LGBTQ centre, I think kind of that lack of communication is quite produces quite a lot itself. That very fact that the prison system hasn't yet been in conversation with the LGBTQ plus centre is.
Let's really hope that Simon's there tonight.
Yeah. We'll
that will solve that.
Yeah.
Straight away. Yes.
Great stuff. So yeah, that Ruben, the lack of communication between you and the prison is what is suppressing LGBTQ plus voices. Yeah. So fab. Yeah. But obviously not fab, but yeah, for the purpose of being...
No, I feel a lot more reassured knowing that sort of. Yeah, because I think obviously because it came in last minute on Friday, we just had that quick conversation on the phone. I'm rubbish on the phone, and I came away like, hang on, have I just sold myself to something that I don't know? But no, as long as you know where I'm coming from, then that's fine.
Yeah, all good. Let's see. So that'll be the kind of like first question. So 1854, we're kind of like looking into kind of Leicester local, that kind of thing. And then the next question is kind of expanding to look at LGBTQ plus on an international scale. But I kind of thought about this again over the weekend and thought, do we really need to expand? I'd like to ask the question, but then if I could ask you guys to maybe like bring it back again to practical and local, because international and stuff, it's big and it's grand and it's spectacular, and I'd like to reference it. But I'm more interested in what that can tell us about the system that we're dealing with, rather than just kind of, getting all floaty and discussing every single. I
feel one of the things that we can say about the international situation, and this is just coming from my own experience, is that it's a patchwork quilt around the world. And what I mean by that, so you've got, for example, if we take Britain, its former colonies, whether that's Africa, Asia, or wherever in the world that Britain had its colonies, that they actually, as part of their legacy, left legislation that was anti-gay. So prior to colonization, there were societies where there may have been, there would have been gay community, gay people, what have you, LGBTQ people. But often, if I take somewhere like Uganda or Jamaica even as examples, I mean, Jamaica, this country has given refuge to LGBTQ people on the basis of being, giving them asylum, if you like, because they've been persecuted at home. The same for some people from Africa or wherever. And Uganda has a particularly repressive regime against LGBTQ people, and they use their legal system, which was inherited from Britain. So I think that's one point I just want to get across. But equally, we have people here who are LGBTQ people who find themselves into the prison system, who are asylum seekers and refugees, or in fact are detained in these really weird detention centres that are run by private companies. So I would probably make those 2 points.
I think
in terms of the international perspective.
Yeah, that is international people in our national borders.
Locally, here, yes, exactly. And people being deported. I know from my own experience, people being deported back home, fearing that they might be attacked or even killed because they have, because of the hostile environment of immigration here.
Yeah.
Is homophobia in your own country, like persecution of homophobia?
It's a complex picture,
reason for seeking asylum, because I know that our next door neighbour in Leicester.
Yeah, it is. It can be. I know of cases where people have settled here because they've. I mean, Jamaica's one example, but I'm sure there are others. But equally, the opposite is true, where people haven't been able to stay for whatever reason, the Home Office, hostile environment, people have been deported back to their countries. And equally, in terms of homophobia, we have to be careful. Not all countries legally, in terms of its legal system, is homophobic. It might be in cultural practice, but in some countries, like in some countries in Africa, gay relationships are tolerated, but then they might expect them to still have a heterosexual relationship to produce children. It's a patchwork quilt around the world as what the legal system is and what the cultural practices are and how they oppress or not oppress, as the case may be.
I was looking at this.
I think that's all you can say.
Yeah,
it's a big thing that.
I think we've all got kind of examples which kind of show this. I found it really interesting when I was looking at passports. The countries, which countries actually allow for 3 gender options, a lot of them would surprise you. So I'm thinking about passports. I'm thinking about I think that with the international question of looking at this question on an international scale, I think that I was thinking of refugees. I was thinking about the people who have been actually imprisoned for homosexuality, which is still illegal in 72 out of 195 countries in the world. So that's nearly a third of countries. So that'll be at around 7:10. I'll kind of open up that question, see what happens. And then at 7:20 or so, I would like to kind of fairly wrap up. I would like to offer, as I say, some training, some upskilling for everyone. Ruben, can you see this email on your screen? Yeah. So have I got those trainings right from you guys?
Pretty much, yeah. I think that's probably what's on our website.
It is.
Generally, sort of as standard, we offer packages of LGBT plus and trans awareness training, and obviously those other ones listed are areas that we have a certain amount of expertise in, and if you want to talk to us about tailoring a course around that area, then we absolutely can. Basically, it's kind of the same rule for everything with our services. Come and tell us what you need and we'll bend over backwards trying to do it for you.
Nice.
So
that's so different from
we'd like to put your course on our website, which won't be overnight because our web designer is overrun with requests to put stuff on, but we would like to, if you're happy with that.
Yeah, of course.
We're thinking of kind of like course sharing, upskilling, getting it all out there. And just to make sure with the courses, Ruben, they are for corporations or individuals, or
so currently we haven't got any sort of dates set for the kind of ones where individuals can book onto, but we usually would. It's just COVID has sort of slowed everything down. So yeah, as an organisation, if you want to book us, absolutely do. As an individual, get in touch and we'll sort of put you on a list to contact you when we've got a date.
Smashing.
Yeah.
On that point as well, I did cobbled together rather quickly, so it's not wildly comprehensive, a list of, I didn't really focus on the visual arts, but LGBTQ writers in literature. Like it could be a sort of reading list. I could send that or send that to you, Julie, or to post up, because it might be useful for this audience who've never ever read a book by a gay person. And some of them will be just kind of fiction and whatever, but other ones might be relating to their lived experience. That might be a good starting point as well for people.
I think that would be great. I think that'd be fab. If you could put a reading list together. I mean, I've been thinking about. So I seem to write a. Yeah, I seem to write a poem for each of these.
It's a quick one. It's a starting point of a reading list. It's not a fully comprehensive, because actually when you realize it, when I started looking at it, there's a lot of gay writers, lesbian, gay, queer writers, down, the last 100 years, even there's lots of them. So just to kind of pick out the more famous, the more well-known, or the critically, someone like Audre Lorde, who, and people who people would have seen films like Brideshead Revisited, Christopher Isherwood, all these, Cabaret, all these popular things in popular culture. I suspect people don't always know that actually that was written by an LGBTQ person. Do you know what I mean? A gay person. So it was just to do a little reading list.
I mean, I think that's a great exercise anyway, because you can look at whether whether the actual voice is being silenced or whether the LGBTQ in the voice is being silenced. Then that brings up that.
Well, I think that would come as a different. That would be a much deeper and a different discussion about how that happens in terms of voice. So if you take Cabaret, which was in Weimar, Germany, it was a very permissive, different atmosphere, and you do know that there are characters in that are gay. But equally, I know what you're saying. There are gay writers that in terms of what they've produced, people wouldn't necessarily know that they were gay, and it's interesting as to why that is. That's another discussion possibly.
Yeah. Let's see. I will be. The ending of it will be poetry. I was thinking, as I was going to say, for my poetry, I was kind of thinking like, saying something like, we could hear my voice, but we could hear the voices of, and then kind of reel off a list of kind of good authors, not from the intersection of white middle class female subjectivity. But I was just thinking about that. But yes, there will be a poetry slam at the end. I'm not 1,000,000% sure how I'm gonna regulate that. Probably in the same way as last time, which went quite well.
Did you give people like they do at a slam? You've got X amount of time.
No.
It's as someone who's organised poetry slams, they know they've got a minute or whatever it is, and they if they go over, they know that they're not going to be allowed to go over.
Cut off.
The next, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's my understanding, that's how all poetry slams. But you may decide not to do that. It's just that sometimes it's good to let poets know you've got a minute, you've got 2 minutes, whatever it is, so that we don't get a long soliloquy.
Yeah, that, do you know what, that is what happened last week. We had like 2 or 3 short ones and then quite a chunker. So yeah,
I'm very experienced with poetry slams, so I'm just suggesting that when you introduce that element,
cool, I'll see what. So
you just say you've got
1 minute to go,
whatever it is, to express, and it makes people pithy and succinct.
Cool. Yeah. Do you know what? Yeah, maybe that'll be it. So yeah, 7:25 poetry slam, go. 7:30, you guys are good to go, and then yeah, I think we have a fairly put together plan there. We're all happy with that.
Thank you.
All right, thank you for holding the meeting. Thank you ever so much, Carol, for reaching out and grabbing Ruben. Ruben, thank you ever so much for agreeing to come to this.
Well, I think I have to thank two people I was explaining to Ruben how we got to Ruben, just so you know, is I rang two friends of mine who are actually on the board of the LGBT Centre, but they're also personal friends, one of whom is an ally and the other one is a gay woman. And you know, I said, oh look, you know, it's short notice, you know, it might not be possible, but is there anyone, you know, I asked them first, they weren't available and up for it, but you know, and they came back and, you know, we've got Ruben, so it was through that. So I would give thanks to them. I've thanked them personally, but you know, I'll probably thank them again.
If you had an email address, I'd be really happy to send over a quick thank you.
Well, I think what's going to come out of this, and what's really good, is that you've made contact with Ruben and Ruben's made contact with you. And from what I've heard so far, there's going to be an ongoing relationship, and there will be contact and linkage and training and everything down the road, and that's going to open up the door, you know, so it's been positive from that point of view as well.
Yes. Thank you, Harold. Thank you, Ruben. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of good. So guys, do contact me all throughout the day if you have any questions. But yeah, I'm kind of pretty confident.
Well, all I'm going to do now is send you the reading list, and then look forward to seeing you at 6:20. 6:20. I always like to get on a Zoom 10 minutes before, don't I, Julie?
She does. I can verify that.
That's cool. That works. You as well, Ruben. You're welcome to join early. We'll just be sitting in a room. I'll be shaking around. I'm sure other people will be a bit cooler. But yeah, over and out.
Lovely to meet you, Ruben.
See you later then.
Really
Thanks.
nice.
See you later.
Bye.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Before you disappear, Julie, just to say,
yes,
as you can see, I'm sorry, Callie, this is about something else.
I'm going to put the kettle on, but I'd like to speak to Jules.
Okay. Well, this will be a minute or so. Just to say that I've obviously had a very deep thinking weekend, and you've no doubt seen what I've emailed out and sent. And if you haven't, it's okay. But you'll see that what I've done is I've responded to, if you like, what Sharon outlined as what I and Sarah are supposed to be doing. But following conversations with you and my own thoughts, I've kind of put it back on them.
I think we should.
Yeah, well, if you read what I've sent,
which one did you send it to? Because I'm gosh, my brain is on overdrive.
I sent it to you. You've got so many email addresses, but I have actually sent it to the Gmail, and I have actually sent it to one of the brass ones. But just to say, in a very subtle, nuanced, kind of diplomatic way, I've kind of put stuff back on them. You know, I don't think the network should be doing an audit at this stage, because the network needs strengthening and consolidating. They should be doing an audit.
I think I think they should be doing an audit on themselves. Yeah. So I agree. As a first priority.
When you read what I've sent, you'll realise I've kind of batted stuff back.
Very good. Very good.
So I'm just flagging that up to you, but if you get a chance to just speed read what I've sent in the email,
I absolutely will.
I've sent it to you, and I've sent it to Sharon, and I've sent it to Sarah, i.e. the task force, by way of preparation for today's meeting. So whatever I've said in that, I'll probably be repeating it today in the meeting.
That's okay.
It's almost like, how dare you expect us to start faffing around to your orders, do this, do that, when you're the one who needs to sort yourself out, and you're the one who needs to sort out your communications and get this network back up and running, and you're the one who's got to rebuild the trust and the relationships from the failed expectations. That's basically what's behind it.
I think that I agree. I think that they should I think that they should audit themselves on inclusion. I think they should pay for any city organisations to do their safeguarding. If they haven't got all the safeguarding, I think they should pay for that to happen in the city. And we've been talking to Val about that, and Val
I really want you to carry the banner and the stick around risk assessment and safeguarding.
Oh my goodness, I'd be happy to.
And it wasn't, and it was in the original report, and it is something that they're
it was.
And
I think they're not.
Just so you, just so you know, I've actually sent them the creative people and places information.
That's
because
the big one.
you sent it to me, and I wrote back to you, and I sent out to them and you, I think, the fact that there's a public register of people who've already registered their interest. Now, what's interesting on that is Peter Phelps, Symphonia, Caribbean Carnival, Helen Butterfield, Woodgate, and somebody called Sam Plummer, who I don't know. He's the only one I don't know. And then the Leicester Race Equality Centre. Now, the Leicester Race Equality Centre might be wanting to work with Priya. After this now, I'm going to ring Priya. But what I'm saying is that with CPP, you're supposed to develop a consortia to apply for the money, which is why there's a public register. And, you know, there's at least all of those people that have registered their interest, I actually know personally. Right. And presumably, are you aware of Helen Butterfield registering interest for Woodgate?
I didn't know Helen had registered for Woodgate. She kept that quiet.
Well, you see, this is why I'm all for transparency and joining things up, because the one man, one woman bands is fine on one level, you know, like drum and brass is a project, it's finite, it's discrete. But if we're talking strategically, and if you're looking at something like CPP, which is a strategic fund, and its requirement is that the people who register their interest in Leicester, and I've sent it to you, they need to form a consortia. What is the best, where are you going to get the best consortia from? Leicester Black Asian Ethnic Minority Network.
Yes, absolutely.
So someone like Cherish Betts, who's already registered, she could be joining the network. Helen Butterfield, we can have a chat with her. Peter Phelps, Symphonia, what is he up to? We want to know. And Sam Plummer, Deacon Art Centre.
Oh, yeah.
Never heard of it.
Yeah,
Deacon Art Centre. Have you heard of it?
Yes, I have. It's somewhere near.
Have you heard of it?
I have, yeah. I don't know what they're up to, but none
of them can apply on their own.
No.
And the other one is Leicester Race Equality Centre, and they're not an arts organisation, but I think they're working with Priya. Right. So this is getting really interesting, isn't it? So Carol has just opened it up to the hub and said, consider this.
This is the opportunity, isn't it?
Join it up.
Yeah, join it up.
So
yeah.
Thanks for you for sending the info.
Well, Leonie sent me that from Bishop Street Arts. They are totally.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to do some calls and emails now. So I'm going to love you, Per, and leave you. See you, Callie. I'm off. And I'll see you, Julie. And thank you for all your support. Thank you so much.
Oh, no, this is good. It's happening.
It's exciting. It's actually exciting.
It is. Yeah. Getting my blood going.
See you later.
Bye.
Morning.
Hiya.
How you doing?
Yeah, good. Overdrive, yeah. Things are really kicking off, I think.
I think Carol is getting to know that I do know some of the answers to her questions.
You cannot have failed to impress her with that thing yesterday.
What thing did I do yesterday?
The thing that the detailed thing, yeah. That was good. Ruben's good. You know, that opens up a whole new thing. I have got no gay representation on my photography exhibition, but that photography exhibition is major.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it is, because it's going to get all of these different representations in the same room on one day.
Yes, it is. It is the intersections. It's the intersections.
Yeah.
Intersectional sectionals. Please,
so, yeah.
not according to instrument, but according to gay orientation.
Yeah, let's shout out.
Yeah, I'm really happy with this.
Get all the different people together, and then we're like overwhelm all that. There's like 5 normal people.
Well, I think that this, it's kind of for this reason that people who are cis and straight and all of that should think about how they present themselves. I've just been thinking about this, but like many people who have been gay, part of the oppression is the fact that they felt their identity was repressed or oppressed, and they've had to go from oppressed to less oppressed.
Yeah.
And so
I need a shelf.
You need stacks and stacks and stacks of wood.
I need stacks.
Yeah, that's nice. That's
better, isn't it?
Yeah, that's much better. That's lovely. Yeah. Are you holding your phone up?
I'm holding my entire laptop up.
Yeah. Get yourself what you need. This is my
printer that it can sit on top. I need one of them. That's lovely, Callie.
That's nice, isn't it? I've got boxes made left, right, and centre.
That is. Hang on, let me just do something. Oh, it's lovely and snowy in winter wonderland here.
It's snowy in winter wonderland here as well. It's gorgeous.
Is it?
It's so nice.
How's that?
Lovely. Yeah, very, very, very good. So, I will kind of introduce you as the chat moderator at the beginning of the session. Yeah. So this is Julie Maxwell. She'll be moderating our chat, and you'll go. Okay, hello.
Hi, everybody. Feel free to put your intros, bios in the chat because we're going to collect them all up.
So at this point, because I'm going to be introducing you as chat moderator so early, I won't know how many people are in the room. So it'll just be you're just a small hiya. I'm Julie.
I'm Julie. Hi, I'm Julie.
Lovely.
Lovely to see you.
Yep, very, very good. And then so the platform. So I'm going to be talking about kind of platforms. Talking about the platform of Instagram. Acknowledging that people will be having social media on different platforms, but the platform that I think that we can create, because I was wondering about this from last week, how do we get all these different people that we're interested in working with to join something that isn't just an email list or a Facebook group?
Okay.
And I think it's signing them up for the training. I think it's skill sharing.
Yeah, skill sharing. Oh, Callie, you're genius. You're a genius. That's really, really good. Yeah. Skill sharing is key. And if you can't offer, what we were thinking was if people are strapped for cash, really genuinely, then they offer skills instead.
Skill share. Yeah. If you can't do something, then help us make a video.
If you can't pay for something, offer your own training course.
Yeah, this is exactly it. So I'm going to be saying at the end, if you're interested in taking part in training or have training to offer,
yeah,
get it down. And
we're gonna say that actually, in terms of safeguarding, we're going to be making it very clear that organisations working with young people or vulnerable adults need 3 things. They need a DBS evidence. They need level 1 and 2 training evidenced. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I think that's probably it, actually. Okay. Those 2 things, the training, and the policy.
Right. Well, in that case, what I'll do is at the end, I'll say, now guys, I'd like to kind of like the platform on which I'd like us to operate as a network is by skill sharing. So we're going to go around to Drum and Brass and the Leicester LGBTQ Centre to see what training they're offering. If you're interested in the training or have training to offer, please make that known in the chat. If we can, please make that known in the chat. And at the end of each of these sessions, we'll have a skill sharing moment. If I could introduce Julie Maxwell, and then you will go through the Drum and Brass training.
Okay.
Yeah, and keep it fairly short, fairly sweet. I'll share my screen while you're talking to show the list of courses.
Oh, cool.
Then Ruben will do the LGBTQ Centre, and then we do the Poetry Slam.
Brilliant. Wonderful. Things are really, really moving, and it feels like the whole of like the last 15 years of work is all starting to come together.
Oh, I hope so. Yeah, I mean, you've worked so hard. I'm just kind of able to stick things together with glue.
Well, that's what we need. That's what we need. So I'm meeting Sharon and Carol this afternoon, the Nazi Tea Party.
Ah, okay. Yep, great. So this is not Carol Leeming.
Yes, this is Carol Leeming. Carol and Sharon is head of the Nazi Tea Party.
Nice.
Essentially. But Grandad's given his blessing for a revolution.
Yay! Very, very good. Very good. Yes, so...
It's so much better.
It's going to be about... So before, I've been a little bit reluctant to actively suppress the voices that have been heard all their lives and platform those voices that haven't been heard all their lives. But it does take some voices being quiet to give space for other voices to be loud. And for that reason, some people just need to learn to be quiet, and it's going to be so hard for me. But I'm coming up with something. Don't worry, I'll come up with something.
Well, Davina said that she did the privilege walk exercise with a whole bunch of people, and she said that some of them were saying, "Oh well, I'm female and I'm white, but I've had that, I've had that problem where I've been sidelined." And I was thinking, yeah, I said, I think that all the time. Yes, that happened to me. And it's learning to keep that quiet, because actually that's just empathy. That's not, this has happened to me too. That's just understanding what it's like if you're having that happen all the time. All the time.
Okay, so it's just empathy, and empathy isn't good enough. Is empathy being quiet? Is the next step being quiet about it?
I think it's being quiet about yourself, yeah.
Yeah, because although, so for me, I think that verbalizing the fact that I am pansexual rather than straight is not really a revelation, and it's also not something that I don't think I'm going to get any backlash for it. My family I've never ever thought that saying anything like that to my family would cause any issues, and if it did, then I've got a bigger issue with you.
Yeah, the only thing, it'd be like, oh, is that all?
Yeah. It's not a kind of, for me, it's not a movement. It's not a kind of identity. It's not something that I've been oppressed for, kind of thing. So for me, for a lot of people, coming out will not be the same as other people's coming out. Yeah.
But I mean, in a sense, it's always been a bit of a norm in the family. Well, from my perspective, it has.
Oh, that makes sense. I mean, it hasn't been. I feel that like our family has less kind of repressed their identity, and because the family is strict, than just kind of. I think it's just been given either the lack of parental interest, so that it's not
parental interest. We don't care, whatever.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, true that.
No,
do what you like.
I don't really mind what you are, as long as you're in university.
Yeah. Yeah, middle class neglect.
Oh, how difficult it is. So yeah, I'm thinking about writing a poem which is basically like, you could hear how I feel from Austin and this person and this person, this person. But the people who've got very different experiences from me are Maya Angelou, Bell Hooks, Zadie Smith, loads of other authors. Maybe not Zadie Smith, because we don't like Zadie Smith.
We don't, do we? We don't know why, but we don't like it.
Oh.
Just don't like her books.
Yeah, it's the books, it's not person.
She'd probably be great. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Just a quick rundown from the Sheffield Poetry Slam. The winner of the Poetry Slam got straight in touch with me to be like, hey, just reaching out.
Cool.
Yep.
Have we explicitly sent the thing to Simon and Kush?
No. So we need to today send the. Could we do a MailChimp including Simon, Kush, Lisa Selby? Yeah. So if I send you a couple of email addresses that I've been sent over.
Simon and Kush are on the MailChimp.
They are, okay. In that case, I'd like to have a MailChimp that says, how did I get into the MailChimp last time? Can you remember?
Yeah, it's the usual D&B drum and brass email, Genius 45 exclamation mark.
Yeah, okay.
And if you want to do it now, we can.
I'll tell you what, I should be somewhere at 12 o'clock, which I'm not going to be at 12 o'clock at. I'll need to make a call. I should be out by.
Oh, I mean, we can send it to Simon and Kush, because they're the main ones. To be honest, I'm not sure if the MailChimp made any difference. It just gets, I suppose, it makes people realise that we're doing stuff.
Okay. Well, in that case,
let's just send an email to Simon and Kush and send the event. How do I do that?
All right. So I'm going to send the event link to you now.
Okay, and I'll email it to them.
Yep.
Let me make it small. Make it small. Compose. Simon Bland. I'll send it to all the Simons. Simon Bland, Talent Unlocked. Kush. I always felt Kush was such a wimp.
Who is Kush?
She's she worked with Kieran on The Wing.
Oh, right.
But she was always like getting intimidated by.
Oh, really?
By nothing. She was a bit of a scaredy cat.
You've got to have a very critical view of these prisoners. You've got to be able to engage them on a personal level, but also know that there's a professional level which requires you not to take in your biases.
Yeah.
There's a chapter for event.
Voices. Event tonight. Hi, both.
Can we get Lisa Selby? So that is.
Lisa.
Yeah.
Have we got Lisa what?
So Lisa.Selby.
Yeah.
At N for November, T for Tango, U for Uniform.
NTU.
At ac.uk. So at ntu.ac.uk.
Okay, so she's an academic. Event tonight.
Yep.
Hi.
So I sent over.
Kieran at Soft Touch.
Kieran's been sent it 4 times.
Asked us to invite you to this event, which is really relevant.
This event, which will be looking at queerness and incarceration. There'll be some professionals, some project people, and hopefully some users of the services.
Will be professionals.
So healthcare/arts professionals.
Healthcare, arts professionals.
Some project people.
some project and some service users.
Service users, yeah.
It's a chance to network and look forward.
Upskill. So the upskill thing.
Upskill.
Yeah.
Maybe
in brackets, Ruben did mention something about the LGBT centre and the prison. Starting to look at that little. He mentioned it. Maybe we don't need to mention that yet.
Ruben did.
Yeah, mentioned something about starting to look at the probation service and how it accounts for LGBTQ people. So.
Well, I mean, if we get Simon and Ruben together, then they can plan something for Talent Unlocked, and I'm sure that that's a brilliant connection.
Okay.
A brilliant connection, really.
Fab.
Let's say the speaker and there will be healthcare arts professionals. Speakers are from the LGBT Centre in Leicester.
Yep.
And the arts.
Yeah. And then I can show you the.
I'm going to send it.
Wait, have you got the link to the Facebook ad?
I've got the link that you put in the chat.
Yeah, I'm also going to give you the Zoom link in case they're not.
Link to event details.
Yeah.
Link to Zoom.
Yeah. One sec. Material voices.
Oh, I did a fantastic snow run this morning. It was brilliant.
Really?
If I see it snowing, I just have to get out.
That's nice. I was up until I think I went to sleep between 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. Woke up at 10 p.m. was up till about 2 o'clock, throwing invitations to people.
You're a bit like Alex, aren't you?
Yeah, if he's successful.
Terrible sleeper.
Oh no, I'm a brilliant sleeper. This is just because I think I had a late night on Saturday, slept until about 1 o'clock. I just wanted to have that early night, so I could wake up at like 8 o'clock or something. I have such high expectations, and then, God, I woke up at 10:20 this morning. And I was like, oh God, Zoom!
To seeing you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to send it. I'll read it to you. Hi there, Simon and Lisa and Kush.
Mm-hmm.
Kieran at Soft Touch asked us to invite you to this event, which will be looking at queerness and incarceration. Better put and poetry in brackets. With poetry slam to end with.
Yeah,
there will be healthcare, arts professionals, some project folks and some service users. It's a chance to network and upskill. Speakers are from the LGBT Centre in Leicester and the arts.
Yep. Okay, right. At the beginning, where you say Kieran has asked us to invite you,
Yeah.
I would say Kieran noted that you guys might be interested in. Kieran at Soft Touch noted that you might be interested in attending this event.
Which we'll be looking at queerness and incorporation, in brackets, with poetry slam at the end. Exclamation mark?
Get one exclamation mark in the email.
Okay.
Yeah.
There will be healthcare and arts professionals, some project folks, and some service users. It's a chance to network.
I think at the end, say that we're going to finish off with a training sharing forum and poetry slam. Training sharing forum.
Okay, and there will be training, share, and poetry slam.
Training sharing.
A training share and poetry slam at the end.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. When you put the link into that email, does it bring up the picture of the material voices?
No.
Right. In that case, I'll get one for you. "46 interested." Yes.
Excellent. We're expecting healthcare and arts professionals, project folks, and service users.
Yep. Ah. Okay. In that case, you can add this picture at the bottom. So yeah, last time we had, of the 9 people saying that they would attend, we had 4 friends of mine.
Yeah.
We had like 13 people interested. Now I've got 13 or 14 people going, only 2 friends of mine. Wow. And yeah. So...
Wow.
Yep. Do you like your video?
Hang on. Okay. Screenshot. Let's see if I can get that in.
I was looking at like the people who are interested, and I think that half of them are pretend. Stevie Hines, Elliot Warren Gibbons, Alexandra Skorinska, Hannah Seeler, Pedro Murray, Christian Keller.
Sound like Goldsmith sites to me.
King's College London. Studied in Humboldt University in Berlin. I think Stephen James is interested.
Who's Stephen James?
He was a Goldsmiths boy.
Cool.
Okay, Sarah Randall's interested. George Bensley, yeah. James Stephen Wright, oh, maybe not. Sylvia Lombardi, recognise that name.
Yeah.
Joe. Okay, maybe they're not pretend. Maybe they're real. Okay.
It's very exciting. Right, that's gone.
Loop. Marvellous.
Awesome. I'm so impressed. It's so good. If you want to
relax
yeah.
at this point. Nah.
I think, yeah, relax. Actually, yeah, relax. Go get some nice lunch.
I've got to
do your yoga, do your cello.
Oh, I want to do my yoga. I want to do my cello. But yesterday I was supposed to help Michelle empty our little storage area, and I didn't. So I really need to get on that today. I mean, she's very, 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 very understanding. She's only like 38, and she's got an 11-year-old girl. So we're kind of both unreliable, but I better run onto that. But that'll be nice, you know. Think about something else for a couple of hours.
That'll be something completely different and labour intensive, not brain intensive. That's quite good. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, marvelous stuff. I can't believe how well that, even just that meeting with Carol and Ruben went really well.
It's really happening now. I think you kind of won Carol. Ruben's lovely. We know people like Ruben. He's great. I think I need to invite the Brass Bands England EDI group just to.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think if you could, that email that you just sent, if you change the beginning to, we feel that you may be interested in.
Yeah. I'll just send it on. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. There are a couple of organisations. If you could, if I just kind of leave you a small list, if you find an email address for each of them and then add them into whichever email you're going to send, that'd be amazing.
Okay.
I
have got yes, I've got a few other things that I have to do today as well, as in including getting a translation in by.
Okay, well, Bent Bars, I think the email address I can find for you now.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah.
They're a letter writing project for lesbian, gay, bisexual.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Let me see. I'm going to put in the Amber Foundation because Ruben told me that there were a couple of people who are presenting as trans.
Right.
So I think that they will, you know, they're aware of the issue of LGBTQ plus, and they could probably do with some training. There you go.
I think Val.
God, yes, yeah. Anywhere that could do with training, you know. Yeah. But I'm confident that because we're offering the training and everything else, it's a really valid, like, we're offering them a product.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, right, I need to go have a shower.
Okay.
All right, great stuff. Well done. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.